You're watching King Mac Red Raider Nation's Countdown to Tip-Off, sponsored by Infinity of Lubbock.
And back on Countdown to Tip-Off and back to Madison Square Garden for Chris Beard's Red Raiders. Last year, they played Duke in New York City. This year, on December 10th, they face 5th-ranked Louisville at MSG in the Jimmy V Classic. Oddly enough, though, Eric, that's not the biggest non-conference game on the schedule. Yeah, anticipation already building. Probably will still build for that game in Lubbock on January 25th. Yep, talking about when the Kentucky Wildcats come to town. John Calipari's team once again replacing a bunch of NBA guys. Why? Because it's a basketball season. It's what they do. Still with some key guys coming back, though, headlined by this guy, point guard Ashton Hagans, and big guys E.J. Montgomery and Nick Richard. Also adding plenty of five-stars. Why? Because they're Kentucky. Wildcats rank 2nd in the preseason top 25. It's that Big 12 SEC challenge. But don't read that as this exact matchup being picked at random.
Some people might think this is some kind of random draw through a computer with the Big 12 SEC. I respectfully disagree. Right. You know, I think maybe I'm wrong, but Coach Cal had to support this game, and I recognize that and I appreciate it. Yeah. For us, it's an opportunity to play against one of the best teams in the country. You know, this is where we're trying to get our program, and I said it at this very thing 3 or 4 years ago. Like, the first thing we want to do is we want to become relative. We want to get in a fight. But one thing you have to do is your scheduling philosophy, and we've done this.
Now, remember, that game won't come until the middle of Big 12 play, so they'll have other things to think about. The early non-conference schedule should help this young team get their feet wet. That among the topics of discussion with Coach Beard as we sat down with him before the start of his 4th season as the Red Raiders head coach. Anything different for Chris Beard from year 1, getting ready for the season here at Texas Tech, as opposed to year 4?
That's a good question. What's the same is expectations, the eagerness to start the season, the excitement to get on the court. I think what's probably a little bit easier is just that there's so many things that take place every day that I trust others to do. The first year, you kind of got your hand in everything. Now we have a lot of talented people in the department that are taking care of things.
Other than the first time at a program like Arkansas Little Rock or here or wherever, is this the youngest team that you've ever been involved with?
One of. You know, I think maybe not necessarily young versus old, but experience versus inexperience, absolutely. You know, it's no secret. We can't hide it from anybody. We have 3 returning players. We have some experience within the new guys, whether it be grad transfers or freshmen that have played a lot of minutes in the Bahamas in our 2 exhibitions, but there's no denying, you know, experience is something that we're going to have to catch up quickly.
We've talked a lot during this offseason about those graduate transfers, and a lot's been made of that with your success, whether it be with Livingston the first year and obviously Tariq and Mooney last season. How crucial are guys like Chris Clark and TJ Holyfield, especially early in this season, to kind of help all the young new faces along?
I mean, when you put a team together, everybody has a role they have to fill and some expectations for everything to go as planned. And certainly with us, when we recruit grad transfers, not only are we looking for the player, the points, the rebounds, the minutes, we're also looking for the experience factor and leadership. Leadership comes in different forms. But just like last year with Matt and Tariq, this year with Holyfield and Chris, you know, those guys are going to have to play well early for us to have the kind of start that we want this season.
Joel Ntombwe, not a grad transfer. Chris Beard, though, hoping the UNLV transfer will make an impact this season as well. Sophomore averaging just under 12 points, 5.5 rebounds last season for the Running Rebels. But Tech's still not sure when or if they will have him this season. The Red Raiders awaiting word from the NCAA on Ntombwe's waiver status.
Turn that stuff in, and we wait. It's kind of like Thanksgiving, you know, I play out football outside. And, you know, you go in there about every 10 minutes, you know, hey, Mom, when's the food going to be ready? At first, she's kind of cool about it, and then eventually it's like, you know, so it's kind of like that with the NCAA. You wait.
Couldn't tell from the mic tapping whether or not he's getting impatient about the whole thing. No impatience for you. All you need is a commercial break, because still to come on Countdown to Tip-Off, we continue our conversation with Chris Beard about moving on from last year and the new face on this year's roster.
And later we look ahead to tomorrow night's opponent, Eastern Illinois.